Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive episode of the show where we break down everything happening behind the scenes in the NFL. Today, we've got a loaded one, starting right in the Patriots' backfield, where rookie running back Tavon Henderson is already making headlines, not just for his potential on the field. There's a contract situation brewing that could have ripple effects not only in Foxborough, but all across the league. Now, if you've been following the offseason closely, you've probably heard that Henderson, a highly touted prospect out of Ohio State, is expected to play a major role in New England's offense this year. A lot of buzz is swirling around the idea of him pairing up with Ramondre Stevenson to form a versatile, high-upside 1-2 punch in that running back room. But here's the thing, that dynamic duo might have to wait, because right now, as crazy as it sounds, nearly every single second-round pick from this year's draft is still unsigned. Yeah, you heard that right. 30 out of 32 second-round picks have yet to put pen to paper. Now you might be asking yourself, what's going on? Isn't this just a formality at this point in the offseason? And honestly, in most years, you'd be right. Usually by mid-July, almost all rookies, even those taken in the second round, are signed and sealed, already prepping for their first full NFL training camp. But this year is different. It all comes down to guaranteed money. Two teams, the Houston Texans and the Cleveland Browns, decided to shake things up and offer their second rounders fully guaranteed contracts. That's not normal in the NFL, especially not for picks outside the first round. So now we've got a situation where those two teams essentially reset the market and all the other second round picks are looking around and saying, wait a second, if they're getting full guarantees, why shouldn't I? And honestly, can you blame them? Let's take the Texans, for example. They signed wide receiver Jaden Higgins out of Iowa State to a fully guaranteed deal worth $11 million. Now, that might not seem like a fortune in the grand scheme of NFL contracts, not when top quarterbacks are making $50 million a year. But for a second-round pick, that's a massive precedent. It puts pressure on every front office across the league, especially when it comes to budget planning and managing the cap. Suddenly, what was once a routine negotiation becomes a league-wide standoff. And that's exactly where things stand right now. Teams are hesitating to follow suit. Players and agents are holding firm, and rookies like Tavon Henderson are caught in the middle of it all. So what does this mean for the Patriots? Well, it means there's a very real possibility that when rookies report to camp on July 19th, Henderson might not be on the field. He might be on the sideline, working out privately, or not present at all, just waiting for that deal to get done. And for fans expecting to see him start contributing right away, that could be a bit of a concern. But the expectation, at least for now, is that this isn't going to drag out too long. The Patriots know what they have in Henderson. He's a game changer, a back who brings burst, balance, and vision. They didn't draft him to sit, but with the current state of negotiations around the league, they're not going to rush into a deal that doesn't align with the larger cap strategy. Still, don't be shocked if his name isn't on that first official practice sheet. These things take time, and right now the market is in flux, but that's not the only quarterback-adjacent story making waves this week. ESPN dropped their much-anticipated list of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, a ranking that always stirs up debate. Now, they technically released the top 10, plus honorable mentions and a few others who received votes, but the biggest story might actually be about who didn't make the cut. Rookie Drake May, for instance, didn't crack the top 20. Not even as an honorable mention. That's right. In a list that stretched into the teens, the Patriots' potential future franchise quarterback was left completely off the board. And to be fair, maybe it's a little early. He hasn't played a regular season down yet. But when you look at some of the names that did sneak in, like Baker Mayfield at number 10, it definitely raises some eyebrows. Let's break down the top of the list just to give some context. No surprise at the top. Patrick Mahomes leads the way, followed by Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. That trio has pretty much cemented themselves as the gold standard of modern quarterbacking. Lamar Jackson comes in at number 4, which makes sense after his MVP caliber campaign last season. But then things start to get interesting. Jalen Hurts, despite his incredible dual threat ability, is docked a bit. Likely because these rankings lean more toward traditional pocket passers. Baker Mayfield rounding out the top 10. That's a head scratcher, especially when you consider that guys like Jordan Love and CJ Stroud only made it into the honorable mentions. And even further down, you've got names like Aaron Rodgers, Tua Tagovailoa, and Bo Nix getting nods in the received votes category. All of which brings us back to Drake May. Look, no one's saying May should be in the top 10 right now. That would be premature. But to not even get him mentioned? That's some serious bulletin board material if you're the Patriots coaching staff. This is a player who many believed had the tools to go number 1 overall. He's got the arm, the size, the athleticism, and more importantly, he's got the mindset. The guy thrives on being overlooked. So you can bet this slight didn't go unnoticed. And come week 5 or week 6, if he's under center and lighting things up, expect this list to start circulating again. Only this time with a little more criticism aimed at the experts who left him off. If the Patriots want to help their young quarterback silence those critics, they might need to get him some more weapons. And that brings us to another developing story. The situation unfolding in San Francisco with wide receiver Jawan Jennings. Reports are swirling that Jennings is either looking for a new contract or wants to be traded altogether. This comes not long after 49ers legend Jerry Rice expressed concerns about how many changes the team has made this offseason. Now, Jennings is no stranger to making tough catches and stepping up when needed. And with Deebo Samuel now out of the picture and Brandon Ayuk dealing with lingering injuries, there's a very real chance Jennings could become the de facto number 1 receiver in that offense. But here's the twist. He's set to make just $7.5 million this year. Compare that to other top receivers making upwards of $30 million, and suddenly his stance starts to make sense. The rumor mill suggests that Jennings could follow a similar path to what tight end Jonnu Smith did. Remember, Smith played out a strong season, asked for a raise, and was eventually traded, ending up in Pittsburgh after being packaged with Jalen Ramsey. Smith then signed a 1-year, $12 million extension. That kind of outcome might appeal to Jennings, especially if he feels underpaid and undervalued in San Francisco. And that opens the door for a team like New England to potentially step in. Imagine this. The Patriots offer a mid-round draft pick and a player like Keyshawn Bout, or even someone like Kendrick Bourne, who already has familiarity with the 49ers system. Throw in a contract extension in the ballpark of 2 years at $15 million per season, and suddenly you've got a very enticing package for both sides. Of course, there's a catch. Financially, Jennings is only counting about $4.2 million against the cap this year. That's a bargain for San Francisco, especially if he ends up being their top target. So from their perspective, there's almost no incentive to rush into a new deal. They might just play hardball, tell him to tough it out, promise him more targets, and then revisit the conversation in the offseason. Maybe they offer him a small sweetener, a bonus here, a bump there, just to keep him happy enough to suit up. But if the tension lingers and the team starts to feel the pressure, don't rule out the possibility of a trade. And if it happens, the Patriots could be in prime position to strike. And speaking of wide receivers and big money, let's shift to the AFC East, where Garrett Wilson just secured the bag in a massive way. The New York Jets locked up their star wideout with a 4-year, $130 million extension, including a jaw-dropping $90 million guaranteed. That's historic. We're talking about the first wide receiver in league history to average over $31 million per season after just 3 years in the NFL. It speaks volumes not only about Wilson's production, but also about how desperate the Jets are to solidify their core. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers have been swirling around Foxborough, sending shockwaves through the NFL world. Could Stephon Gilmore be making a surprising return to the New England Patriots? The veteran cornerback, once a cornerstone of the Patriots' defense, is rumored to be on the radar for a reunion with Bill Belichick's squad. While nothing is set in stone, insiders hint that talks have quietly begun, sparking intense debate both inside the organization and among the fan base. Gilmore, a former Defensive Player of the Year, left the Patriots a few seasons ago and has since had a roller coaster career marked by flashes of brilliance mixed with injury setbacks and inconsistent play. Yet his experience and leadership still make him an enticing option for a Patriots defense that has struggled to find stability. In the secondary, sources suggest that the Patriots see Gilmore as a potential veteran presence who could help anchor a young, rebuilding defensive unit. But the prospect of Gilmore's return isn't sitting well with everyone. Fans are split. Some are nostalgic, eager to welcome back the star who once shut down the league's best receivers, while others worry that the 33-year-old cornerback might no longer possess the speed and agility needed to compete at the highest level. Social media is aflame with heated debates, reflecting this divide. Some praise the savvy move to bring back a proven leader, while others call it a step backward for a team trying to build for the future. The tension reportedly extends beyond the stands and bleachers, creeping into the Patriots' locker room. Sources close to the team reveal that the possibility of Gilmore's return has created a charged atmosphere among the defensive backs. Younger players who have been stepping up might feel overshadowed or threatened by the arrival of a high-profile veteran, while some veterans welcome the competition and mentorship that Gilmore could bring. Coaches are said to be carefully managing the dynamics to maintain harmony during what could be a pivotal offseason. Adding fuel to the fire, there are whispers that other teams are also circling Gilmore, ready to offer him opportunities should New England hesitate or walk away. This tug of war raises questions about how much the Patriots are willing to invest in the player and whether Gilmore himself sees a long-term future back in Foxborough or just a short-term stop to reignite his career. As the rumor mill churns, one thing is clear: the potential return of Stephon Gilmore to the Patriots is stirring more than just curiosity. It's shaking up loyalties, challenging the team's culture, and setting the stage for a summer of drama. Will Gilmore suit up once again in the classic navy and red? Or is this just a fleeting whisper that will fade away? Patriots fans will be watching closely, hoping for clarity, but bracing for the storm. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.